I can report this evening that the Justice Department's investigation into the shooting death of Michael Brown, as well as our investigation into allegations of unconstitutional policing patterns or practices by the Ferguson Police Department, remain ongoing.
Yeah, it's always good to give the crowd some hope. The investigation into Michael Brown and the Ferguson Police Department still ongoing, as, by the way, is George Zimmerman's civil rights investigation. That's, as far as we know, still ongoing. Joining us now is our friend John Fund, Newsmax contributor, National Review columnist, and author of Obama's Enforcer, Eric Holder's Justice Department. Hello, sir.
Pleasure, Steve.
Good to speak to you. All right, so when you hear Eric Holder and Barack Obama perpetuate this, and it's still ongoing, and instead of just saying the grand jury spoke, and by the way, don't ever hit a cop, and chances are you won't get shot, and also obey the police. Those words will never pass the lips of Obama or Holder, will they?
No, and we got a preview of how Obama thinks about these issues back in 2009 when he said the Cambridge cop was stupid, the way he treated a Harvard professor, and we had to have the beer summit to smooth that over. But Obama hasn't changed. I think the summit meeting at the White House yesterday, in which they discussed, police cameras on cops, which I think is a pretty good idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
And, there are rogue cops out there. My brother was in law enforcement for 25 years. You want to stop them. But that summit basically was saying to the liberal community, we're not going to be able to have the stuff to go after him on a civil rights violation on the federal government's side. That's an enormously high bar to clear. So he's trying to back out of this politically, but what he should be doing is exercising leadership like you mentioned, and he can't do that because his base won't let him.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. All right, let's talk about two columns that to me dovetail very nicely that you wrote. One, The Voters Spoke, Now Listen, and the other, The Immigration Demagogues. The voters spoke in so many ways, and from day one, the day after the election, Obama said, I heard the 2/3 of you who didn't vote. No compromise, doubled down, moved farther to the left, in your face executive order on immigration. I mean, this is who he is.
Well, it's incumbent upon the Republicans, if Obama's listening to the 2/3 who didn't vote, it's incumbent on the Republicans to listen to the 1/3 who did vote, and it was actually higher, about 40%. And the Congressional Budget Office is something your viewers probably don't know much about, but they do the scorekeeping for all the tax bills, all the spending priorities. But the majority party appoints the director of it. And the director the last few years, Doug Elmendorf, a good economist, but some really bad calls on Obamacare. Basically, he garbage in, garbage out, and he never warned Congress, I think you're trying to skew the numbers so that Obamacare will be seen as saving money on health care and lowering the deficit. Nobody believed that outside of the tooth fairy. And Elmendorf, though, was a good soldier, and he perpetuated that myth. And now with Jonathan Gruber, we know it was a deliberate attempt to mislead the American people and get a very bad and destructive bill passed.
And the American people don't really have any way of knowing if it lowered the cost of health care. Only their cost of health care.
Well, their costs are going up.
Premiums are going up, and deductibles through the roof.
So the bottom line is there's some Republicans who say we should keep Elmendorf. He's a good economist. I say he was a good economist, but he was a bad representative for the American people. We need a new director of this Congressional Budget Office. He's been there 6 years. Time for fresh blood.
So let's talk about an ad that you turned me on to.
We are constantly hearing that racial tensions in this country have risen under Barack Obama, and they always say it's the Republicans' fault. Well, Mary Landrieu, who is standing shoulder to shoulder with Barack Obama, running for a runoff Senate race in Louisiana this Saturday, she has approved a message which attacks her Republican opponent, Bill Cassidy, as having endorsed a documentary that says slavery is better than being on welfare.
It is outrageous.
He didn't endorse the documentary. He appeared in it briefly along with 15 other guests. And two, the guest who made comparisons with the dependency that can lead to welfare, making comparisons to slavery. She didn't say slavery was better.
Right.
She herself was African American and a former welfare recipient named Star Parker.
Yeah.
For this to be injected into the debate, it's a radio ad saying, don't vote for Bill Cassidy, he believes slavery was better than welfare, is about as incendiary and irresponsible as you can get. She hasn't repudiated it, she endorsed it, and Barack Obama hasn't repudiated it. And I say, if we have poorer racial relations now than we did 7 years ago, I can tell you one of the reasons is ads like this.
Absolutely, and of course, the summits that you referred to at the White House with Al Sharpton sitting virtually next to the president, and this perpetuation by Eric Holder that we're going to
Look,
investigate.
I think one of the worst legacies Barack Obama will have is during his administration, he made Al Sharpton the nation's leading civil rights leader. That is appalling and a step backwards. Al Sharpton's slogan is not "I have a dream," it's "I have a scheme."
And a big tax bill reportedly as well.
Yes.
John Fun, always great to see you, sir. And folks, we'll be back with more of the Steve Malzberg Show. It's coming up right after the break, only on Newsmax Television, so don't go away.